David Wilson, he signed my petition, and I guess he came down a week later and said, hey, I'm moving to Florida, and changed his address. So I had 2 signatures that were, right there.
Was that Mr. Wilson a resident of your ward when he signed your petition?
I don't know the exact date when he signed it. The ladies down front said in July, and he signed my petition in July, but I turned it in August, and I guess the change of address went through in August. So,
well, if he would have, I mean, I'm talking out loud here. If I'm saying something wrong, interrupt me, somebody. But if he would have signed his petition, when he signed your petition in July, he was still a resident of your ward, should that not count as a valid signature?
It's when he's registered at the time we check the petitions.
yeah, that's what they said, and at that time, his residency, change of address residency went through to Florida.
I don't know that that's...
And the ladies down front, they didn't give me an exact date. They said that it was processed in July. So he signed my ballot July 14th. So
When he signed your petition,
Yes, sir.
was he a registered voter at the address that he signed on the petition?
that information I didn't have at that time. They just said it's time-stamped at the time.
Well, we have
turned
that
it in.
information. So what is that information? Did we research that?
We looked at it when Mr. Gardner came in.
Yeah.
He came up as red status
Right.
because he's moved, he's declaring that he lives in Florida now for residency and registering
Yeah,
to
but what
vote
about
purposes.
when did he file his change of address?
We can pick that up, but we've been told that it's when they file. It's what they are on record when they file.
When file?
When the candidate
The
files.
candidate files.
The registered voters at the time the candidate files the petition.
I don't know that that is. I don't know that that makes sense.
Is that
I mean,
true?
if somebody,
Is that true?
where does it say that that's true?
I would say that how would a candidate know if the individual moves later on? If he goes and circulates, if the candidate looks at you could get a registered voter list from the board. He goes out to that individual signs the petition.
Yeah.
He could have filed immediately, I suppose, that day with.
I would
I don't
interject
know.
more importantly, how does the individual know that they're going to, I mean, they may get a call and have to move for some kind of emergency. So they might not have known they planned on moving. I would think that that would carry more weight than the candidate.
I would suggest that we ask the county prosecutor and the Secretary of State's legal counsel to advise us on this matter.
That's fine.
And then we can deal with it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, just
I
give it a look.
agree.
I mean,
Yeah.
and
Let's talk, I'm sorry to keep
okay, let's go back to
interrupting.
the form. Okay.
Let's talk about at least the one that's in front of us.
Yes, sir.
I don't know that we have, and I can see Mr. Gardner was probably an honest mistake.
Yes, sir.
You're the one that circulated these, and it looks, I don't know if we checked them, but it looks, I'm sure most of them are valid, or at least one, to get you to the 25.
Yes, sir.
In this case, I don't know that we have any ability to accept it, excuse me, because we don't know. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say why maybe it doesn't make sense, but we don't know which 10 you witnessed, but you could say, hey, I witnessed 18, so obviously I witnessed 10 out of there. We can pick the 10 we want, but I don't know that we have that ability. I think that number in that circulator statement has to match what's written on that petition. Is that correct? That's what we've always gone by.
That's correct.
And we've had this situation. You're not the first one to ever do this.
No, sir, I believe it.
Not maybe a list you want to be on, but
Exactly.
It happens. But I think this one individual, if once we get an opinion, that may be something that can get you to that 25 valid signatures. I don't know if it can or not, but as Mr. Archikoff said, we're going to ask the legal people to look at it, and if we're able to accept that signature, I guess it's safe to say that you could be on the ballot because you'd have 25 valid signatures.
Yeah, I'm just looking for that one signature. I have 2 in question, one David Wilson, who had to change of residency.
Right.
The
And then
lady
the other
down-
one where you said he's living with his parents.
He grew up in a house and lived with his parents, and he bought a house beside me, and he signed it with the address with the house beside me.
And he was probably still registered as
And his parents, which are still within my ward.
Yeah, we might not. be
Silver
able
Lake's
to
a
do
nice enough
anything.
community.
I don't think,
Families stay in the town.
Yes,
I don't think that
exactly.
one would count, because that, you know, when it was signed, it wasn't where he was registered at. So
Right.
that's a clear cut. You have to be registered where you sign, you're not a qualified elector.
Let's move forward then with Mr. Arshinkov's suggestion that we ask John, your office, and/or in conjunction with the Secretary of State on that signature.
Would you like
for
a copy
Mr.
of the
Gardner.
signature?
Yeah, we have.
We have
everything.
I know which one it is.
Okay, thank you.
And then we will contact you, sir, once we get that information together.
Okay.
Fair enough.
That's fair.
That's fair. That's all I came to ask for, and I appreciate your time.